Will I get paid for it?
Yes, you do.
Oh, okay. That's the main thing.
Okay, I'll start down here at the bottom, and then Jim will probably want to ask you some questions at the end. Everybody goes to work is on a 90-day probation period. We do a background check, and again, the ones I looked at, I don't think we're going, but we still have to do it. We have to do a drug test. Have to pass both of them before you're officially hired.
Yeah, that problem
Selected.
either way.
And of course, I don't know who's going to be selected yet, but you do get paid during the training, and some of them are ready to go in less than 3 weeks, and some of them take a month. Jim, am I right on that?
Maybe. It just depends on your...
Right.
I'd like for you to work with everybody, not just Jim. And of course, you can tell him that you would like to come in on a midnight or something and see how somebody else writes a warrant. And I think that's a good thing, because they don't do it the same, I promise you. Even though they try to follow the law, they don't do it the same. The starting pay is $9.50 an hour, and the county will give a raise, and you'll get a raise at that point if you're hired. There's a 1-year school, and every year there's a school that's like 3 days that's required for you to go to. You have to stay there and go to that school. You are on call for any shift. The people that work days, second, third, they work 8 hours straight, and all of them, including Jim, get holiday and vacation and stuff. So that we need another fill-in. Rick Bond's the only one we got now, and he works a full-time job. We don't have anybody days, and that requires Jim to fill in or somebody, and then he gets overtime. And the county don't like that too much. They want to hold everybody to no overtime if possible, and I understand that. But Jim's been real good. He'll work any time and fill in at hands. Something that I meant to tell Ms. Lawson and I didn't, and I'm not contradicting you, Carlene. I don't want you to think that. You are a judge. Am I right, Jim? You're
a magistrate under fine laws and state.
You're a judge in fact, law and all that, just like the regular judge.
You have that authority to determine probable cause to have someone's freedom taken away from you.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything you want to ask us, Glenn, that we haven't discussed? It's been a kind of brief, but we don't want you to go out and not understand.
I know basically I'd be working weekend, right?
No, you're going to be hired as an on-call person. Jim sets the schedule. We've got people who work 12 hours that switch up every weekend. But everybody can't work every shift. Somebody will get sick, and they could get sick during the shift.
Right.
That's when Jim would call you and say, Glenn, I need you to come in and finish this shift or work tomorrow night. Things happen, and they may be wanting to take off too, to go on vacation or something, and they can't.
Yeah.
We try to work with them real good. That's where we need fill-ins. It could be weekends, it could be any shift, and it could be at a pretty quick notice. If somebody got sick or something.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay. TCRA is my next question. Jim, you go ahead. You draw retirement, TCRA?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let Jim tell you what that entails.
If you're with, I guess, the city, retired from the city,
Tennessee
Consolidated Retirement System, you understand being retired and drawing that benefit that you can only work 120 days a year or 960 hours, whichever would come first. And you cannot exceed that, and if you do, you would be required to suspend your retirement benefits. We don't want you to get in that position, but we want to make sure that you understand that you're required to keep up with your hours and watch to see that if you were hired, that you didn't go over that minimum requirement and have to suspend your benefits. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you, what are your computer experience and typing skills?
I can do it this way. Yeah, I'm pretty good on it. I'm not going to say I'm fast, but is all the warrants done on the computer now?
Everything's done on the computer?
Yeah.
There's a program that you would have to
It's got a program, but all you gotta do is go into that program and
It's
pull it up, right?
Yeah, it's a program that would draw up the documents that you need,
Yeah.
and you would have to fill in the required.
I have to use computer where I work at now, for my daily report and stuff like that, so, I mean, it'd be basically probably about the same way.
Thank you.
Okay. If you don't have anything to ask us, Glenn, I guess we're done. I will tell you that whether you're successful in getting hired or not, you will get a call, most likely tomorrow, okay? And right now, none of us know who the people that's going to get hired till we tally up the scores here at the end. And then I'll give them to Carol tomorrow, and she'll tell me if she wants me to do it, or Herschel, or her. But you'll get a call either way.
Okay.
We appreciate you coming in and putting up with us.
Ain't no problem.
All right. You have a good night.
All right, y'all do the same.
If you don't hear, there's a Miss Jefferson. If she's out there, would you ask her to come in?
I sure will.
Okay. I think, yeah, it's Tabitha Sue Jefferson. Has everybody seen her application? You need it?
No, I ain't seen it.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
Doing good. How you guys?
Just have a seat, please.
Okay.
We don't want to put you on the spot when we first come in, the public is there, and I don't want anybody to have to stand up. We want you to be comfortable.
Oh,
Okay. My name's Ken Martin, and what we're going to do is just ask you, go around the room and ask you some questions, and just really just have a discussion. But the first thing, I want to make sure that you know everybody here. Do you know everybody in the room? This is Charles Morgan. I'll let everybody announce who they are. I'm Charles Morgan.
Tommy Savage, Wayne Copeland,
Jim Harton.
Carolyn Brown.
And I've already told you I'm Ken Martin. I'm chairman of the committee. Is the reason I'm talking so much. Okay.
okay.
Like I say, we've kind of made the questions up, but they forgot to give me the questions now that we've been asking everybody. But I think we're basically covering everything anyway that's in those questions. The question that I always want to know is, why do you want to be a judicial commissioner?
Well, I've lived here my whole life. I was raised here. I plan on staying here. I have a family. I have children. So I want to be part of this town and want to be active in this town and things in the judicial process. I mean, I went to school for criminal justice. I've been in school for 8 years, and I want to continue that in my career.
Thank you.
What knowledge do you have about the general responsibilities of the judicial commissioner?
I know some. I have a little bit of idea of what they do. I mean, I know they grant warrants, correct, for the sheriff's department. As far as the responsibility, I'm fully aware that it's very important to make sure you do not grant a false warrant. I know there's a lot of liability with that as far as people like parolees and things like that, as far as them violating their parole, and this kind of stuff you can't really go back on if you were to make a mistake.
Ms. Jefferson, in this job, if you were selected, you would have access to a lot of confidential information. How would you make sure that that information always stayed confidential?
Well, I currently work at a prison, so I'm pretty aware and have a lot of access to confidential information right now. And I understand that confidentiality is very important. I mean, it's literally some people's lives depend on the fact of confidentiality. It can get someone killed very easily. So, I mean, I understand that that would be on me if something was to happen as far as liability, if anything was not done not done to a certain level of confidentiality.
Very good.
I've got your application here, and I know where Michael is. I worked on that prison up there years ago. But anyway, certified correctional officer, is that a guard now, or is that a step up? What does that term mean?
The certified correctional officer is it's the correctional officer that goes through academy and has been certified by the state.
Okay. And the battery intervention, are you I don't know, in dispute, or settling disputes, or that type of thing? Is that what you,
Battery intervention facilitation is also a certification I have. It's a facilitation certificate to do like a programming type thing with violent offenders that have committed domestic violent offenses.
well, I think you're qualified, and I know your computer skills are up. I say you work with the computer all the time. don't you?
Every day.
First time I've seen this, but it looks good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Colleen?
When you were talking about your current position that you have, and now this is an on-call position and part-time, and you could be called to work on, cover all kinds of varieties of shifts. How would that work with your current job?
I currently do work 7 to 3, and that is in Pikeville. So if there was any type of way I could do, maybe cover hours 4 to whenever I would be available, or anytime on the weekends. I do not work weekends.
Okay. You had said that you wanted this to be something to further your career in law enforcement or in criminal justice. What's your long-term career goals?
I would like to get my mediation license. I would like to eventually do Rule 31 mediation. I've also looked into private investigation as well.
Now, you use the term, what is a 31 mediation? What is that?
Rule 31 mediator, it is a family and civil mediator.
Okay. Do you go with Tabitha?
I do.
Okay. This job is, everybody goes to work for the county, including this one. It's on a 90-day probation. The people you work with, Tennessee Highway Patrol, Manual Police Department, Sheriff's Department, and especially the District Attorney's Office, which, you know, if you wasn't sure about writing a warrant, that's what I'm saying. You call them anytime, day or night, and they should help you. They can't write it for you, but they will advise you. You already entered your computer skills. You would have to do training, probably 2 or 3 weeks, and it's a daytime training. Are you able to do that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I am able to take off work for that.
You have to be able to be at jail within 15 minutes from where you live. And you live on McBride Street, so that shouldn't be any problem.
Yeah, I could almost walk there in 15 minutes.
Yeah, in just a moment. It starts out at $9.50 an hour. There's a 1-year school. It's required by it's every year that you have to go to that school. It's a 3-day school. And it is required by the state of Tennessee to be a judicial commissioner. You have to attend that school. We do a background check, drug test, and as we've already talked about, it is an on-call. Any shift sometimes could be right away, and sometimes you'd have a week or 2 notice. We've only got one on-call person right now, and he works days, so he can't work when, you know, he has to do his daytime job, and I understand that. No benefits come with this job, and we have a lot of turnover. Most of the people that are working have moved up, you know, and sometimes that's quick and sometimes it's not. Some of them's been with us a long time. And I'll ask, but I know you're too young. You don't draw retirement from the Tennessee Consolidated Retirement System.
No, I do not.
Everybody else that. So what Jim was fixing to tell you wouldn't apply. Jim, you got anything you'd like to add? He's our supervisor of our judicial commissioners.
Do I understand correctly that you're a correctional officer?
Right now I'm actually correctional counselor.
Okay. You work in the correctional facility, and that's where?
I do. It's in Pikeville, Tennessee.
Pikeville. Okay. Your hours that you're working would restrict you to what? Weekends or evenings?
Anything after 4 and weekends.
Okay. Thank you.
But you would be able to train for 3 weeks on the front end?
Yes, as long as I have a notice, I can work with that.
Okay. But I mean, Jim does most of the training, the reason I'm asking, and he works the day shift.
Okay.
Although I like for all the judicial commissioners, when they're new, to work some with the other commissioners to see how they do things. because everybody does things different. That don't mean they're right or wrong, they just do them different. And I like to brag on our commissioners. I think we got some great ones right now. Jim would know that better than me, but I think he'll agree with me. We've got some good commissioners. We really do. They're trying and they do a good job.
I think you're well qualified. Let me ask you, did we have one person already from the prison where it was, that tried and then couldn't take it, Ken? I can't think who it was.
No, there was a probation.
Probation, is that what it was? Okay.
You know, that's something we could probably check. Jim, do you know?
Well, I do know if you work as a correctional officer that there would probably be a conflict of interest by working within the penal institution. In terms of your particular capacity there, I don't know how that would fit into the possible conflict.
But we have somebody we can call, find out.
We'd have to, we just would have to make sure that there's not a conflict of interest working within a penal institution and being a judicial commissioner. Because the guidelines are such where there are occasions where we do have conflicts, and we just want to make sure that that's certainly not breached.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, there are, there's not very many, but there are a handful of felons up there from Warren County. I mean, it is an intake facility now, so we do have everyone come through there. They're not always necessarily working with me, but I do have access to their information.
In your capacity, how do you handle your interaction with them? Do you interact with these inmates on a direct basis, or is this just a paperwork flow?
Oh, no, absolutely. I'm around about 600 inmates every single day.
Okay, so you have a direct contact with them. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm always worried about ladies. If they spook easy, some of the prisoners, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel comfortable with that from what you've already said. Okay.
Yeah, I think they're more afraid of me than I am of them.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's a good thing, really. Yeah, I guess it is, but it's good for you probably. You don't have to worry much about it. Okay. Is there anything you would like to ask us that we haven't covered or talked about?
What exactly does the school, is it continuing education credits? Is that what the Tennessee, the school is that you have to attend every year?
Well,
it's the Judicial Commissioners Association of Tennessee, and under the state legislature has passed a law, I believe in 2010, that requires all judicial commissioners to attend a certification course to maintain their certification and stay up with the current laws and certainly domestic violence and issues of that nature. But it's a required 12-hour certification course that you must attend each year. That's in various locations throughout Tennessee, and it's provided 3 or 4 different times a year. So it's not just one particular school, or it's more of a conference setting where you'll go and just be brought up to speed on the current laws and certifications. So basically what it is.
I wasn't sure how that compares to like working for the state of Tennessee. You have to have so many continuing credits per your position every year that they require you to have. I wasn't sure how that, if that was.
It's not a continuing education course. It's just a state requirement that it's mandated that you attend and stay certified through the Judicial Commissioners Association of Tennessee. There's no credit applied in terms of judicial commissioners. Attorneys can get continuing educational credits if they attend these conferences, but outside the attorney status, it's not a educational course.
Okay. We appreciate you coming in. You will get a call, hopefully tomorrow.
Okay.
If nothing goes wrong, we'll, one way or the other. And of course, if you're selected to be hired, you got to do the drug test and the background check. Most likely you can pass it or you wouldn't be working with
Yeah, I currently work for the state, so yeah, they're...
Right, so, but anyway, we still have to do it.
And if anything was to come up that it was considered a conflict of interest, would I be notified of that, just so I know for future reference?
We're going to check on that in the morning.
Okay.
Of course, if you're not selected, that's not going to matter unless
Right.
you just want to know.
I mean, if that would be possible, yeah, I would really like to know, just so I know kind of what I can do with where I'm working, because that might be
Right.
and something I wouldn't want to continue to pursue if I'm getting,
Right, you wouldn't want to apply again if you're not.
well, yeah,
I understand.
yeah.
And if it doesn't, then you're not selected, you might want to apply again.
Mhm.
We, you know, I've told everybody, I have no idea who's going to be selected. We've got some good candidates, we really have. So, you know, just have to wait and see. We'll know tonight, we will, but the people that are selected won't know in the morning.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
I do have one question. Would your employer, how would they feel about you if you were selected for this job? How would they feel about that? Have you discussed this with them?
I have not, but we do have we have a pretty good warden up there, and he's, I think he would look at it like they would love to get more professionals up there, more people that have professional backgrounds, because, I mean, we've had a lot of scrutiny over the last year or so, all up in all the penal institutions in Tennessee as far as there being corruption and non-educated employees, a big turnover. So I think the warden would look at it like it was a very positive thing to have someone in there that also has a background in one of the other counties as a judicial commissioner.
It wouldn't be something that if you took this job would cause you to be in trouble with your other job, is what I'm saying.
Oh, no, I would definitely make sure that was, yeah, I don't see there being any conflict of interest just because there's such a small number of people from this county to which we have up there. But that is something that we would have to look into to make sure that they don't feel like it's conflict of interest, and that, because I wouldn't want, if it was to come about, if I had an offender up there that I had actually worked with and then I had to come here and write a warrant, I would have to call and say, I need to step away from this, I don't need to touch this warrant because I know this person's background and their criminal history.
Yeah. That would come into play.
That would be a conflict.
Yeah, but I think that would be really, really far and few between. I mean, I think at this point, I think I've seen 3 people from Warren County, and most of them are serving very long sentences, one of them serving life. So they won't be getting out to have any kind of conflict. And they'll be sent to another institution because we're no longer a housing facility. So some of their stay up there is as brief as a week.
That's interesting, and as big as they built that, so y'all are on, it's just a check in and out, that type of thing?
Yeah, and I think it was a direct result from where they had it at West 10, I believe, and there was so much violence, there was so much, they had such a high assault rate and staff assault rate that they were trying to get the attention away from that facility, so they've moved it to our facility. Yay.
Very interesting. Sounds like you got an interesting job.
Yeah.
Sure does. Thank you very much. We will call. I will check before, or I'll get, if I can, I'll get somebody else to. It might be an attorney, but I'll find out if it conflicts with, and I'll tell you that when we call, or whoever's calling.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for putting up with us.
Oh, yeah,
We appreciate
it was
it.
great. Thanks, you guys.
I'm gonna write this down, so I forget that.
How we grading it, Ken, 1 through 5, or?
Carlene's got a sheet here that I've worked up. You should have one, these right here.
Yes.
Okay. We're not going to mention any names. We're going to go by numbers. And
We're finished.
she's not quite finished, but we'll pass it around. You put the number of what you put on there.